All right. Okay. What's that? The recording?
We don't have any, it didn't come up.
All right.
Test. It's on.
Didn't come.
Oh,
When I put the
got it.
record on, it usually says
Well, recording, I see.
It's recording up there at the top. It says,
now.
okay. All right. Okay, we will call the meeting to order at 9:03. The first item on the agenda is a pledge of allegiance. If you'd like to stand and join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. Next on our agenda is a public comment period. Is there anyone from the public who has a comment? All right, seeing none. The next item on is our Westchester Farms discussion. And I don't know if Rob Ball wants to say anything. I think we all received emails and memos on this development and various decisions that are involved. We have the First Amendment proposed. And I know the board wanted to pause last time for questions. And Attorney Thal sent us a memo regarding this issue.
Yeah, if I could, I would just suggest that maybe we go into closed session to discuss my memo.
All right. And then, Mr. Thal, is it appropriate or right that the board could invite into closed session individuals if we wanted to? There-
You could.
There's Bob Skull, DPW is here today, and Scott Pacheco, the zoning and planning administrator, are here today. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you can invite in agents of the township.
Okay,
They're
All right.
both employees.
they are both employees. So, all right, good to know. Thank you. Sure.
At the end of my memo is a motion that can be
Yep.
made.
I got it here right now.
Yep.
So I will, whoops. We're gonna vote right now, but I think if we go into closed session, in the past, we've gone kind of down the hallway to a different room. There's more of us than public here today, so it's kind of but the board can decide. Let's decide whether the board is gonna vote to go into closed session, and then we'll figure out where we're going. Okay, so I will move that the township board convene in closed session under section 8(1)(h) of the Open Meetings Act to consider material exempt from disclosure by state statute, section 13LG of the Freedom of Information Act, being a letter from its attorney dated February 15th, 2024, for the reason that the letter is exempt from disclosure under state law due to attorney-client privilege.
Support that.
Right, thank you. Motion from me, support from Amanda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, thank you. Motion carries. So, oh yes, Kurt has joined us as well. Kurt's here via Zoom. And so, Mr. Thal, I remember, I think there's some, if you can participate via Zoom as a board member, but you're not eligible to vote, is that correct?
No, you can't even participate. The law does not allow you to participate.
Okay, so could trustee Kosick,
He
Go ahead.
can't go into the closed session with us by Zoom. He can stay in the open session.
okay. All right,
But unfortunately, the Open Meetings Act had some revisions made during COVID and the discussions, we tried to get revisions made that would allow participation by Zoom, but the legislature has chosen not to allow that.
All right, well, thank you. We want to stay within the bounds of the law, that's for sure. All right, so does it make sense then, board, for us to go to that little traditional room and all go in there? Okay, then we will go into closed session.
Pause this recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we should formally invite them. So would the board like to vote on formally inviting DPW Administrator Bob Skull and Zoning and Planning Administrator Scott Pacheco into the closed session?
So moved.
Yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Should we wait for Paul to jump back on?
Oh.
Did you say he was logging back in?
He said he was.
Okay, I'll make sure.
There he is.
Okay. All right. So, I'll move that we return to open session at 10:24.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Notes out here. So after discussion in closed session,
Clearing my
Oh,
throat.
sorry.
Nobody wants to listen to me.
Sorry.
all right, I would like to make a motion that we authorize the First Amendment to the consent agreement, subject to the following. Number one, removal of paragraph 10 in regards to the special assessment district, which does not mean that we won't discuss this in the future, but we would just like to not have it memorialized in the consent judgment. Subject, also subject to the site plan being required to show the clubhouse and pool as required as part of phase 4. Number 3, requiring the park designated in part of 5A as being required. Number 4, requiring the trail connection to the border trail as shown in conceptual drawings in 4D. Removal on the conceptual site plan submitted as the booster station, striking from the plan the wording showing equipment and building by township. 6, require that zoning review is done, provided, I'm sorry, strike that. Number 6, require that final drawings are subject to the administrative approval, subject to all laws and ordinances.
Thanks.
Next. Indicate that the phasing will be built in numerical order. For example, Phase 4 will be built prior to 4A. And finally, all subject to final approval of site plan revisions to Exhibit B and amended consent judgment language by township attorney and planning staff.
About the additional units.
Well, I think we're approving the consent judgment with these conditions. And that would include the additional units. Is that correct, Rob?
Yes, they're already built into the consent
They're already
judgment.
built into it, so.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Board? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Thank you, motion carries. All right, Board of Trustee member comment? Any comments today? All right, next on our agenda is motion to adjourn. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll move to adjourn.
at 10:28.
10:28, all right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, thank you. Motion carries, meeting adjourned.